Not a dull moment in South Africa. Not a dull moment for sure. So, guys, let's go to Kwaggafontein. If you know what is happening today at Kwaggafontein, Mr. Sibanyoni, a taxi boss, and Mr. Fani Sindani and co-accused appeared in the Kwaggafontein Magistrates Court for bail applications. So, the drama that happened in that courtroom also left me two minds. I have two minds. Once again, we are going to delve into conspiracy theory because I think I understand the prosecutor's unspoken side. But at the same time, we live in a constitutional democracy, and in a constitutional democracy, we have the rule of law, and the rule of law is attached to the Constitution, Section 35 of the Constitution, which is very clear about fair court hearing or fair legal process, where justice cannot be delayed, let alone denied. Now, so what had happened today at the Kwaggafontein Magistrates Court is that the prosecutor was no show. As a matter of fact, the prosecutor had indicated in the previous appearing that he will not be available on the 18th of May 2026. So the court felt, this is unprofessional. You are ordered to be present on the 18th of May 2026 to oppose bail application, as the state had indicated that it will oppose bail. And so came today, the 18th, and the prosecutor is no show. Now, as I'm busy listening to the submissions from the defendants, I pick up that the prosecutor is a young man by the name of Mr. Ndaba. Anyways, I'm going to play you a clip of what happened. I'm just going to play you the judgment, not the whole thing. I'm just the judgment, so that you can get a picture of where they are and why the magistrate took the decision that she took towards the end of this video. So pay attention to that one. So it sounds to me he's a young man, probably inexperienced, and inexperienced for a case of this magnitude. If you had to ask me, this is a high profile case. If you asked me, I don't know what determines what a high profile, low profile, medium profile, but to me, this is a high profile matter that requires experienced prosecutors. And when I say experienced, I'm talking seasoned. People that have been in the MPA for eons of years, 20 years maybe. That also includes maybe include itself the DPP coming to the court and handling this matter, he or by herself. In my opinion, I don't know if they can do that. Just besides taking decisions who gets prosecuted, who doesn't get prosecuted, there are still prosecutors nonetheless, aren't they? So to send a young person to handle a case of this magnitude, probably this person has like maybe 3 years, 5 year experience and never handled a case of this significance. But you must also understand he's a young man with a future ahead of him. Probably he has dreams, he has goals and ultimate goals in this field called law. And so the last thing that he would probably want is to, you know, considering the allegations of the type of accusers that are in the dock. Well, they are purported to be dangerous. So we've seen in South Africa, especially when it comes to cartels, before we even knew there were cartels, prosecutors disappearing, prosecutors being unalived, prosecutors threatened, prosecutors going through a lot, especially when the suspect is a well known individual to have a certain persona, character, and practices. So, this is now my first side of the brain, which is more like conspiracy theory. Okay, this is how I always set myself. Sometimes I even feel like I have multiple personality disorder. I'm Klantla, right? I'm also Ntutu and I'm Clantis, of course. These are my three names. So Ntutugo is a person. Every time when you hear me go conspiracy, just know Ntutugo is in the house. And Ntutugo is in the house right now. Clancis is taking a backseat and will be nodding, and Ntutugo will be like, same minds. You'll say, great minds think alike type of situation. So right now you're going to be listening to Ntutugo. Ntutugo is saying, if it was me, the prosecutor, I would have done the same thing. Be no show. I would have indicated prior to the bail application, after realizing what I'm dealing with, made excuses. I wouldn't care what you do to me at this point. You can charge me like what we've seen according to the judgment, as you're gonna hear it towards the end of this video. I'm just piecing together what I think is actually going on in the background, particularly with the prosecutor. If I was a prosecutor, I would have said, not with my young life. If you remember very well, Becky Tsele, when he was in the ad hoc committee, he made a very scary, stern warning of some sort to the members of the ad hoc committee. He said that the taxi industry is not to be messed with. It is dangerous. That is a dangerous industry we have in South Africa. And I think the prosecutor took that and ran with it. And he in the hope that somebody else is going to be replaced. He will be replaced with somebody else. So in order for him to get replaced, he needs to set out some ground so that he gets removed out of this case. And what is the best way to get removed out of this case? Yeah, is to be in contempt. Now, to be in contempt, unfortunately, it's a criminal offense, which also means now, unfortunately, the prosecutor, even though he had dreams and aspirations, I think for him it's mostly about his life rather than the profession. Because if it was about the profession, he would have came and kind of like threw the game. When a referee or a soccer team has been bought to throw the game, like lose the game type of situation. Yeah. If he was really, really caring for his career, he would have done that. He would have came and threw the game. And after the, basically, he would have probably said, we don't oppose bail. Probably he's going to say things that do not make sense. And then, of course, this is going to force the judge to grant these people bail. But it's still going to be questionable because he still has to answer to his bosses. How did this happen? Do you know who these people are? And letting them go, it jeopardizes witnesses, it jeopardizes da 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 and all of that stuff. So he decided, maybe I'm in the wrong profession. So he's now going to be charged with a criminal offense for contempt of court. So when it comes to the principle of fit and proper, that just flew out of the window. He is no longer fit and proper to be a lawyer in South African legal fraternity because he disrespected the court, number one, disrespected the judgment, and he also disrespected the constitutional rights of the accused, therefore delaying justice, which is prohibited by Section 35 of the Constitution. Kuningi. Kuningi. So I don't think wherever he is, he cares. And I think he's going to hand himself over to the police without the police coming after him. And he's going to probably go spend 2-3 days in jail. And of course, the court indicated that he's going to be reported to the regulators of lawyers, LPC, I think. This man is on a strategy not to be involved in this matter. I mean, you also have to think about Kwaggafontein itself. It's not a city. It's not a big town. It's an area of South Africa with at least 45,000 people in it. And if, let's say, God forbid, these accused people were not going to be happy with him, it's easy to find. I mean, probably, I don't know what the square meter of Kwaggafontein, but it doesn't seem like a big town. Easy to find. And he was like, I am protecting my life here. So that is Ntutugo speaking in this matter. And what Ntutugo would have done, he would have done exactly like the prosecutor. If you want to call Ntutugo a coward, Ntutugo will remind you that this is South Africa. They are going to mourn me and they will forget about me and move on, while the people that have taken him will continue with their lives if ever they get caught, if they ever get caught. So he's not going to take that chance. That's Ntutuga. Now let's come back to Clantis. Clantis is like, when it comes to the Constitution of the Republic, it's very important that those that are responsible in ensuring that the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa, it is adhered to on both sides, the prosecution as well as the state, and including the judge herself. That is why the judge took the decision she took based on Section 35(1)(d) of the Constitution and a provision that is provided in the Criminal Procedure Act 77 and 1977. Okay, 1951. Okay, I don't know. I forgot what it's the citation. I haven't watched the Sense of Mayor murder trial in a long time. Yeah, it's section Criminal Procedure Act 70. We leave it at that. 51 of 1977. Like, come on, Gladys, what's happening? You're embarrassing yourself. Anyways, yeah, that is the law, and she cited that according what persuaded her to make the decision that she made. Once again, guys, you're going to hear the judgment at the end of the video. So I just want you, by the time you watch the judgment, you kind of like have an idea what actually I think is going on in the background. Of course, the defense came with two applications because the prosecutor is not present. The first application was to strike the matter of the role because the prosecution is not here to defend the matter, or by default of the prosecutor not being there, then the court should admit the accused for bail, and the court will determine how much the bail is so that the clients go free. So, okay, she was persuaded by the section that she mentions in the Criminal Procedure Act 51 of 1977, and actually threw the matter of the role, basically struck the matter of the role. Now the question is, since the matter is it is derailed, what does this mean? Oh, it doesn't mean that the accused, they're actually free. Taking the matter off the roll doesn't mean that they are free. They are still suspects of the crimes that they are accused of. It's just that a process of law was violated, and therefore it forced the court to let the people go. Unless, which by the way, also if I think about it, this could be an advantageous for them as well during trial, that this entire case is botched. It's conspiracy. So that prosecutor has created a lot of problems for the next prosecutor who's going to handle this matter. Now, as Clantis, I would say blame the NPA for this one. And this also reminded me of one of the candidates for the NDPP. Remember Miss Cronier? Miss Cronier, she talks about how messed up the National Prosecuting Authority is. Skills and people who can actually handle cases, they're almost non-existent. Is this the case of this particular prosecutor? I don't know. It may be. Well, the magistrates pointed out how unprofessional the prosecutor was the last time he appeared before that particular court. I don't know what you guys think. I do not. I'm so interested to hear your thoughts about this matter. What does Ntlantla think? Ntlantla agrees with both Ntutuga and Clancy. He's always chilled in the background and go like, in case you ever wondered about him. But oh, when it comes to rude people, Ntlantla takes his zodiac sign very serious, the Cancer. Oh, when you hear him going at you, you must know that's Ntlantla who took over. The other two just stay behind and say, Okay, there are kids now making noise in the background. I guess this is my cue to wrap up this. And here's the video I told you about the judgment itself. Please, whatever you do, take care of yourself. Please take care of your family and defend this country with everything you got. Goodbye.
The time now is 19 minutes after 1 o'clock. And the prosecutor, Mr. Mkhuseli Ndaba, is still not present in court. The court has heard the applications by the defense counsel. The first one being that Mr. Ndaba be found guilty of contempt of court. For the reasons that have been placed before the court by counsel, which reasons actually express my own finding. The conduct of Mr. Ndaba has left my mind boggled. I saw him for the first time at the last appearance on Friday. And there was a point at which I indicated that he was being unprofessional. And today, sadly, we still have to sit with that. I gave a clear order addressing him directly that it is the court's order, Mr. Ndaba, that you be here at 9 o'clock on Monday, the 18th of May. He is not here. I did receive a report. It would have been just before 9 o'clock that he had phoned the control prosecutor here in Kwaggafontein to say that he was in transit, that he was held up by paperwork, and no time or even an approximate time for his arrival was given. But I do think that no matter which corner he came from of the province of Mpumalanga, he would have been here by now if he had an interest to be here or to comply with the order that was made. And therefore, I think it is only reasonable for this court to find him guilty in his absence of contempt of court. And I will authorize a warrant for his arrest. Also, the court will report his conduct to the LPC and to his seniors at the office of the NDPP or the DPP in Mpumalanga. The second application was for the court to strike this matter off the roll or to admit the accused persons to bail as per their applications. I like Section 342A because it prevents undue delays in the courts. And I think this is one classic case of undue delay of a proceedings. And I'm inclined, therefore, as I do now, strike the matter off the roll in terms of Section 342A, subsection 3C.
That's the court cases.
Court is adjourned.